Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. We have a special treat for you. Today, we have Stealth, and they will be launching their product, in less than 24 hours. Literally. And today, I just want to bring to you guys Steve and Lee behind Stealth Token. And yes, we'll have a short Q&A. We're only going to do this for about 30 minutes, so definitely understand that time is important. Important. So let's get into this. My name is Adam Shelton, the captain of this channel here, and we help you grow each and every single day with projects and ideas and different things like that. And let's bring in Steve and Lee. Steve, how you doing today? Because I'm excited about what we're talking about behind the scenes.
I'm doing well, Adam. Thanks for having us. We're pretty excited too about this launch and to explain kind of what we've been doing behind the scenes for the last month.
Absolutely. And Lee, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this with us so we can, talk to the people about what we're going to be bringing to them.
Absolutely. So guys, don't forget, hit the like button, share this video because we're only going to do it for 29 more minutes, just to let you know that. And this is important. So I want you to pay attention to this because this is very important, groundbreaking, in my opinion, exactly what's going to happen. So let's go ahead and get into this right now. Steve, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Stealth Token?
Sure, yeah. I got into crypto about a year and a half ago, started in the central finance area. And it was great and all, but it just wasn't quite cutting it. So about 6 months ago, I got into decentralized finance and really found my passion in crypto. And we've all been part of projects that have been wonderful. We've all been part of projects that have been rugged, and unfortunately, it's taken a lot of money from us, from the ones that have been rugged. And we kind of started this new platform, kind of geared around helping new investors come into the market and have a safer place to put their funds, where they won't have to go to bed at night and wonder what their account's going to look like in the morning. So we aimed to create a space where people can come and trade and feel more secure as they navigate the crypto community.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we all know that feeling, not only rug pull, but just not feeling good about the project. Maybe something about the project that, you want to know more information. You want more transparency, pretty much. And it seems like that's what Stealth is doing. And they're basically bringing something that it will help people, especially 115 people in the chat, but definitely help more people out going forward. And that brings me to Lee. Can you introduce yourself and tell me exactly what is Stealth means to you as well before we dive deep into this?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Lee. Obviously, I've been involved in IT and engineering for like 25 years now. So I've been involved in crypto probably going back to, I don't know, like when Bitcoin first started. I was the stupid guy that didn't listen to his friends, and didn't buy it at $10 a token. That's me. That's that guy. But no, I've been in DeFi now for probably about 2 years heavily, 3 years heavily. And kind of like Steve, I've been discouraged a few times. I consider myself pretty savvy in this space, and even I've been caught in rug pulls and honeypots and things like that. And there's been 2 or 3 times where I've just kind of left the space for a few months, and then so I'm never going back because of it, and then come back again and just go through the same thing again. So as a group of us got together when we started talking about Stealth, and we really wanted to do something to help prevent that, because we figure if we're, savvy, reasonably intelligent people, and we get stuck in these traps and these situations, then the average person out there coming in, like, what chance do they have? We're supposed to be the quote unquote experts. And sometimes we, don't see these things, or, plus, there's been a lot of stuff recently where tokens have, done some shady things and, really hurt a lot of people. And so it's time to change that and do something different moving forwards.
Absolutely.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go
We
ahead.
also want to let everybody know that our team is not just us two. We have 15 people behind the scenes that are equally as large of a part of this team as us. So, we just wanted to be selective of how many people are going to be, on the AMA and talking at a time, but we will switch it up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's more. I kind of figure it'll be more. And a project like this magnitude, it has to be more than two. It has to be. And people already in the chat, hold your questions. We'll definitely get to those questions because I'm already seeing a few questions already that I would ask myself. But let's talk a little bit more about what we were talking about before. Remember, we were talking about the white paper a little bit because we know we're limited on time. Would you like us to go through that, or would you like to go through some questions first?
Yeah, let's dive right into the white paper, and I'm sure that may clean up some of the questions automatically, and then we can dive into the more specific questions after that.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I was thinking about. So, which area would you like me to start in the white paper?
Well, let's just go through the whole thing.
Okay, let's do it. So this is the top of it, guys. It's being transparent. This is the very top of it. Stealth
and
white
if you want to follow along, the white paper is available on our TG page right now currently. So if you want to follow along on your own device, go ahead and go grab it.
Yes, let's do that right now if you have access to that. Yes. So here it is. Would you like me to kind of go through it, or would you like to talk through the white paper?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go through it. Have you just kind of wrap your head around it, and then you can ask any questions that come to your mind.
Sure. No problem. Okay. Let me go down to the other part here. Oh, the profit. Okay. So, this part here, when I was briefly looking at, Stealth will be a community hub within decentralized finance, partnering with development teams and rewarding holders with exclusive pre-sale opportunity through Stealth Launchpad and Swap. Can you tell a little bit about that if you possibly can?
Lee, you want me to answer that, or you want to?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yep.
So, which page are you on?
I'm on the profit page.
So what we aim to do is we do want to make a swap out of Stealth. That's just one of the many arms and legs that Stealth will have. Let's see. So,
and it says, and these relationships can offer community investors to emerging development teams in return. So the reward aspects to it, can you explain a little bit more about that? Because it says rewarding holders with exclusive pre-sales. That's always on people's minds when we work.
I think that's the launchpad aspect of it. So Stealth is going to be a swap. It's actually going to be an ecosystem. We're going to have a swap. We're going to have a launchpad. We are going to have a decentralized finance app, and we're also going to have a platform. Without saying too much there, the platform will be super friendly and super integrated with a ton of information. And I've got to be careful about what I say here.
Right. Yeah. I know. You got to be very, very careful. And let's go through the tokenomics a little bit. Can you go a little bit about that as well? Maybe like a short overview that you can talk about?
Yeah, I'll let you get straight into tokenomics.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to handle that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So when we sat down to think about how the tokenomics of Stealth would work, we wanted to, be a little different there as well for everyone else. People are used to these tokens where either there's no taxes on them, your typical Ethereum, Bitcoin, so forth, or Doge, of course, and then your highly taxed tokens where you have, static sales tax on both buys and sells, and you end up not only losing money just to get into the token, and then you're fighting uphill from there, but then you're taxed again when you want to get out. So, you kind of tax on the way in, tax on the way out, and you end up having to make a lot more profit in the token than most people realize just to break even. So we wanted to try and change it up there as well. So that's where we ended up where we're at with the dynamic stealth tokenomics. So the buy tax is 0%. So you know exactly how many tokens you're getting. You don't have to worry about, the hit going to take on the way in. And then the really unique part about the tokenomics is when it comes time to sell. So typically, you have your fixed sell tax. And what we have is a system where it starts at 12%. And then every week it will reduce by 1% all the way down to 0. So if you hold stealth for 12 weeks before you decide to sell, you have no sell tax. If you want to sell it, the day after you buy it, then you'll pay the 12% sell tax. So kind of, really rewards the holders because, your typical token doesn't do that. It only really rewards the holders either in reflections, which really don't add that much value, or in the price going up. So in this case, we've got the price going up. Obviously, you gain there, but you gain from just holding the tokens and you having less tax when you sell. So, and then the really cool thing happens, which is once you become tax-free at 12 weeks, then you start to be eligible for getting basically the sales tax from everyone that sells that's still paying. That will be split into 3, and 1/3 of that will go to the holders that are tax-free. So, if you hold it long enough that you're tax-free, you then start earning Ethereum for holding on top of however much the value of the token goes up on the charts. So it's pretty unique, and we think people are really going to like it. So.
Yeah, this is very unique, especially with that rewards area. Anytime I can earn Ethereum, I'm definitely going to be listening to it. And looking at this investor's choice, this is definitely a little different from what I've seen. This investor's choice selling after 6 weeks, 6% sell tax, selling after 12 weeks, tax free. Can you just go back over that one more time, please?
Yeah. So it's basically a descending tax rate. So the day you buy the first time, it starts a timer basically and counting down from 12 weeks down to 0. And every week that passes, you drop down 1% on the tax that you get taxed at when you sell. So if you waited 2 weeks to sell, you'd be at 11%, the third week, 10%, fourth week, 9%, and so on, all the way down to 0. So,
wow.
Which at the end of that 12 weeks ends up being an effective 54.5% APY. And then on top of that, if you keep holding, you then start to earn your ETH rewards.
Yep.
Right.
And one important thing to take into account, people always want to take profits along the way, and we won't punish people for taking profits. So basically, you'll be able to sell up to 5% per week without affecting that countdown. So you can take profits along the way and still not pay tax at the end when you're done. So, or keep holding, the choice is yours.
So, and then on top of that, we are also going to be a hub for, new devs or new projects that need devs or vice versa that need to come to the crypto space, and they don't have connections, they don't know who to go to find partners, and so we will be providing a hub where people can meet each other and start projects if they don't know exactly where to go from first steps. And then the another aspect of Stealth is we're going to have a recovery program where we're going to start reaching out and fixing some meaning the ones that fit within reason, that we've looked over contracts that we can actually rescue, that have been rugged, where the code isn't completely detrimental, and we'll start saving projects as well and bringing people's investments back to life. And that's where the profit sharing comes in.
I love that. I really do. Because there's so many. Go ahead.
One thing we didn't really touch on too, a big aspect of this is what we want to do is allow people with projects to come to us and verify their identity, basically dox themselves to us. And then from that point, we'll basically give them a stamp of approval, it'd be the Stealth stamp, and people will know, hey, this project is safe, and they won't have to spend the time doing their due diligence. I'm sure it's all happened to all of us. We see a new project pop up on the trending on Dex tools, and we're like, holy crap, that chart's amazing. And then you hesitate because you're not sure if you should jump in while, it's still on the way up, or if you should just hold up, go research, read the contract, go to the CG group, start reading up on it. And by the time you've done that, you've missed maybe 2 or 3x in profits. or you dive right in and it's, it's a honeypot, that kind of thing happens. So what we want to do is help people there, let those projects come to us, get the stealth stamp, be verified essentially, and then people won't have to spend that time and then know they're safe, and we'll essentially be insuring those projects in a way. One other important aspect of that is some people can dox and have good reason to dox, and some people maybe they can't dox. We have on our team, we actually have a couple of law enforcement officers who really can't dox because of their day job, but that background is going to help them when it comes to vetting people and so forth. So with the stealth stamp, what that will let us do is the teams can dox to us, and then they have the choice if they dox to the public or not. But the public, the traders, will be able to, confidently look at that product and know, even if they haven't doxed, that they've doxed to us. And so they can trust us when it comes to that, because I think that's an important thing, because, not every project can dox. So,
or they don't want to. I mean,
yeah,
it's not fun to be up on camera and, all the time and represent something when it's really not your thing. Like if you're a technical person, I mean, you want to stay where you're at and you want to do your own thing. And we're not saying that that's a bad thing. It's totally fine with us, but in order to get that stamp of approval, you'll have to dox to us so that we can then represent your stamp.
Right. Exactly.
And don't get me wrong. Like, I love shit coins. They're my favorite. I'm not saying anything bad about the shit coins. Like that arena is one of my favorite places to be. It's invigorating. It's exciting. And we're not trying to mess with that arena. We just want to offer investors a safe place to come and maybe learn crypto before they try to step into those areas. Exactly. We also want to have the ability to have our investors be able to ape into those early projects. So that's what the Launchpad is for, is to provide that safe place to say, you know what, I found an early project, I'm going to hop onto it, and they can hop onto it with a higher level of security than they would, buying something on Uniswap.
Yeah, I mean, that's and they call it the stealth stamp.
Exactly.
That is amazing. Yeah, and I could see that actually getting around. You need your stealth stamp's approval before you move forward. I love that. I love that aspect of it. Stealth, tell me, how did the name Stealth get started real quick? How was it something like, hey, stealth sounds like a really good word? Is it somebody's name? How did the name get started?
Man, we went through so many different versions of every aspect of stealth. It started out as a different name and it morphed into stealth. We as a group, we're starting a company called Skunkworks, and that's where we're going to roll out all of our projects through. And through Skunkworks kind of arose the idea of stealth.
Exactly. For those that aren't familiar, Skunkworks was the Lockheed division that created a lot of like the stealth bombers, like the SR-71 Blackbird, the B-2 bomber, and things like that. So that's kind of where some of that name come from. A very high operating division that makes projects sometimes in secret, and then people only find out about it when it's right in front of them, ready to go. Kind of what we did with stealth here. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And when I'm looking at the roadmap, it seems like you guys are already got things started already on some of these type of things.
Oh yeah, we're almost done with all of phase 1 already.
Whoa. Wow. Already done with phase 1. So now you're just moving on to phase 2, basically.
Not quite. I mean, we still have to get CMC listing. We still have to get CG listing. We still have to launch tomorrow, obviously. The website's going to launch at the same time. We're going to probably end up doxing a member of our core team either once every other day or once a week, depending on how fast we get to it. And obviously the 1,000 holders isn't reached, but that'll happen tomorrow. And we've already started on a handful of relief projects that we're trying to take on as our first one. Everything else is, and there's only 4 other items, but yeah, by the end of this weekend, we'll have most of phase 1 finished.
Yeah, before we've even launched, we've had 1 and potentially 2 projects that have run into difficulties reach out to us and ask us how we can help, if we can help, and want us to start thinking about that even before we launched. So it's pretty exciting, and it really, kind of brings home what it's all about,
We aim to
Yeah.
please, Adam. I'm impressed.
Yeah. And then I'm looking at these comments in here, people asking questions, 226 people in about 20 minutes. And you haven't even launched yet. You imagine when you guys launch, when you actually launch, what's going to happen here? Like we haven't even went into really through the process, like a lot of the information.
Yep.
So you guys ready to do some questions and maybe a few questions here? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Hey
Absolutely.
guys, in the chat, type in Q in your questions, and we'll highlight it right here. We got about 10 to 15 minutes because we've got more work to do. They have more work to do in terms of the launch, so we want to definitely make sure they are ready to go for that. So type in a Q and your questions, and it'll be highlighted in the chat. And so that's how your question will get answered, just by following those simple questions. So just type in Q and your question. There we go.
Listed anywhere.
Here's the first one. Listed anywhere? Well,
so we are going to start looking for places to be listed. That's one of our first steps. We will be available on Uniswap tomorrow, though.
Question: what will be the price?
So the exact price will be set by obviously the price of Ethereum at the time, because it will be a stealth to Ethereum liquidity pool. So it will be affected somewhat by that, but it will have 5 zeros, and then the price will be 5 zeros after decimal place. Sorry. One thing we're doing different is we're not going to launch a liquidity pool that has 100% of the tokens and starts with 1.5 Ethereum that lets those snipers and whales out there go and buy up 5-10% of the supply for a fraction, pennies on the dollar basically, and then make ridiculous profits down the road just milking the liquidity from everyday investors. So we're going to launch with probably around 25 Ethereum in the pool, and we have a number of tokens in mind. So it should be a pretty stable liquidity pool, but at the same time, still capable of making real nice growth and profits for everyone. So.
Okay. And the time of the launch, I think you guys mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, so it is planned at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, assuming everything goes well with all the testing and preparing for that. We don't want to rush to launch something that isn't ready. So hopefully everything comes together, and 12 noon will be the time.
12 Eastern.
Okay, we've got
12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Yes.
Yes, and we have a lot of questions in here, guys. It says, "How would I buy Stealth, and what would it be called?" Well, Uniswap.
It'll be on Uniswap. It'll be called Stealth. We'll send out the contract address. We need to make it clear, though, that you need to be very, very sure of which one you're selecting, because there is another Stealth available on Uniswap. So make sure you've got the correct address when we put it out there.
Yeah, we'll be sharing the links when before launch, that way everyone knows what they're clicking on. There's a lot of shady people out there that like to try and jump on people's launches, and will launch fake tokens with the same name and things like, even put the fake website in there and things like that. So just don't trust any address unless you get it from the Stealth TG or the Stealth Twitter address, or the Stealth Discords.
The total supply is 1 trillion. Some common questions lately are, is there a pre-sale? There's not a pre-sale. We did give one giveaway to somebody through our Telegram, and they got a pre-sale position. All of us as team members, we invested into the liquidity pool, so we paid for our tokens that will be airdropped to us at launch. Liquidity is going to be, as far as locked. Lee, you want to explain that?
Yeah, so the liquidity pool will be locked on Unicrypt for at least 1 year right out of the bat, and then once everything's up and running smooth, we'll probably extend that indefinitely. And then as far as the team's tokens go, we're actually going to lock 50% of the team's tokens before launch. And so the amount of tokens we'll have at launch will effectively be as if we bought at launch. And then we're also going to list all of those wallet addresses for the team's tokens on the website as well. So everyone will be able to track them. There'll be full transparency. And honestly, just like most of you want to buy and hold, we're going to hold these tokens. We don't have intention of selling. And in fact, we're hoping that by being fully transparent and being able to watch our addresses, you'll see that we're not selling, and you can trust the team even more that way.
Right. That's a really good that's a really
Within
good
reason,
answer.
of
And
course.
Yeah,
Every investor needs to take profits. We're going to be ran as a business as well. So up front, there will be some of us taking a little bit of profit here and there.
Yeah, you should. You should, really. And circuit audit in progress.
We have not applied for CERTIC audit yet. We will apply for that very shortly. We wanted to get a more basic audit done prior to launch, but it looks like we'll probably just jump straight to CERTIC.
Yeah, once we launch, basically, then we'll apply for the CERTIC. I think you have to actually have the contract and everything in place and the website everything up fully. And we'll actually have we have a basic website right now with just a countdown timer. Once we launch tomorrow, we'll switch over to the full website, which is being developed. And it'll look a little different there too. So.
Right. Will you be able to help other tokens out if they have issues with rug pulls?
It depends on the issues. It really depends on. There's so many variables, but we will be trying to take on as many relief projects as we can.
Yeah, and there's a few different ways we have planned to do that. Obviously, we don't want to give away all of the secrets and all of the specifics, but
correct.
Depending on the token and what happened to it, whether the team has access to tokens still, whether they have access to other things, maybe that means we inject liquidity back into the project using tokens that the team has. Maybe it means we're buying tokens to help that way. We've even talked about in a case where there's nothing that can be done, maybe we just airdrop tokens from one of our own projects to the holders, just to at least give something back to them.
Right. And one question said, how will the Ethereum be rewarded? Does it go straight to the wallet, or do we have to claim it and pay gas fees for it?
The details of that will roll out as we get there, but
Sure.
There's technical reasons on how we're doing some of that, and like I said, once we get past the launch, we'll explain some of that a little clearer. But effectively, it'd be just distributed to you on probably a weekly basis from the pooled Ethereum that gets generated. So.
And another thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to keep buy fees down as low as possible. So we're trying to make the contract as simple as we can. So in the end, if it does come down to you have to pay fees in order to get your rewards, if it's going to be less for every transaction along the way, it might be that way, but we're not sure yet.
That makes sense. Yes, keep fees low is definitely what people would want. And any restrictions or limit to buying or selling?
No.
I wouldn't think so.
No restrictions.
No. Oh, one thing we didn't mention, actually, I think we forgot to mention, is for the first 24 hours, the sell tax will be 20%. And then the second 24 hours, it will be 16%. So it's kind of a little higher sell tax for the first 2 days, just to get a little more back in. Well, it tends to be when the heavier selling's going on. So that would be about to build up, the recovery pools and things like that.
And the point that we're trying to get across is this is a holding token. This isn't a pump and dump. I mean, if you understand the long-term aspect of this project, once that tokenomics kind of sets in, you'll get it. You'll understand. But this is a token you will hold.
Yeah,
Exactly.
tokenomics does seem very, very interesting. Definitely stuff I haven't really seen too much of, to be honest with you. And so do you expect to burn any tokens? Interesting.
So we haven't fully decided on that. One thing we're probably going to do is, because not all of the tokens will be in the liquidity pool to start, probably a large percent of them, maybe even as much as 50%, we may actually lock up as well in Unicrypt, just to keep the circulating supply down, but also keep those tokens in a safe place where, they can be used for other things such as, exchange listings and things like that. So, because often projects don't think all the way through and realize that, you need tokens for an exchange, you need tokens for, other things like that. If you want to add, some extra liquidity into the pool, you need tokens to be able to put in there with that as well. So there's many reasons you need other tokens, or like we've talked about, maybe it's like recovery tokens for people. So we'll be, keeping a large chunk of that set a safe side in Unicrypt, so more than likely.
Some people want to know where the contract address will be. Would it be on Twitter? I'm sure Telegram, as well. Is that where people can find it?
Yeah, once the contract is fully tested and published, we will release the address before launch and have the source code up there so that people can go and take a look before launch and know that what we're saying is what really lives in that source code there. So.
And they want to know, where are you exactly from? I think you might already mentioned that already.
I'm originally from England. I actually live in the US, but I'm from England originally. So.
And I'm from Utah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
what kind of product or product is it? Are you in Salt Lake City? Or are you in?
I am. I'm in Salt Lake. Yeah.
Beautiful city, by the way. I visited there last year. Beautiful. Very underrated, to be honest with you. Gorgeous. The mountains.
We like it that way. Keep the population down here.
Yeah. Ooh, it really is. I was like, this is gorgeous. And then your jazz fan base is nuts. Oh my. Listen, we can have a whole chat about that. They're nuts. That is, man. Woo, man. Let's continue real quick. What kind of products or projects are you looking to bring to the market? Either one.
Repeat that. What kind of projects
and products are you looking to bring to the market?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that yet. Those are future projects, though. We'll talk about them as they come up. But we're ways away from that. We got to focus really on stealth and stealth's growth.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves right now. What will be the maximum tokens and individuals can purchase at launch, since 25 Ethereum will be had in the LP at launch? I think you already went over that.
Yeah, the exact amount of tokens in the pool, you'll have to wait and see. We don't give away the exact price, but pretty much anyone should be able to buy any amount that they want to and have no problem there. So.
Is that correct? There's no pre-sale.
Correct. Yeah, the team invested and got funds ourselves, and then we did a giveaway for essentially a quote unquote pre-sale spot for somebody, and that's it. So in fact, most of the team are planning on buying tokens at launch because we limited the amount of tokens to even we could get ourselves, before launch deliberately, because we didn't want to end up with a token that was upside down before the start. So everything has to be balanced. Another place where a lot of teams or tokens go wrong, and this actually often causes quote unquote rug pulls, is that they end up giving away too many tokens, be it to the team or to pre-sale, or they just have a ridiculous discount before launch and end up giving 1,000 holders a 40% discount before launch, and then what do you know? It's upside down, and the token launches and it pumps a little bit, and then they sell, and you end up below launch price. So we were very deliberate with how many tokens we'd give to each other, and so as a result, most of the holders or the investors and the people on the team are going to buy ourselves after launch. So get your fingers ready.
Yeah,
right. But it's going to be 100% fair at launch time. There's no whitelisting. We have just the same chance as everyone else of being able to buy what we want at launch. So.
Recommended slippage when people are trying to buy. Is there a percentage that people should look out for?
There is no buy tax. Often that's what drives your slippage on a buy is the tax. So there's no buy tax, but I wouldn't go, for the first 10 minutes, certainly I wouldn't set the percentage down in single digits because there's a lot of people trying to get in there. So if you're serious about buying the first 10 or 20 minutes, you may need to set your slippage up 20, 30, 40, or even 50% just to, make sure you get some tokens.
Yeah, nothing's worse than a 4-minute delay because you had a failed transaction.
Oh my God.
Right.
I've been through that. Oof. And then what is the function or purpose of stealth?
Well, it's...
Which one?
Yeah.
I was about to say, read
the white paper and get a feel for it, and that will kind of let you know of what a lot of what it's about. I mean, just like any other token out there, it's designed for people to make money with, but it also has some specific use cases, and we have other things that we haven't talked about in mind. Ways that we can use Stealth as well. So there's a lot of things coming.
Right. And is there a market cap to start with? I think you might go over there.
There is, and again, you'll have to wait till launch to see the exact price, see the exact market cap. So,
I would guess somewhere in between 250,000 and 500,000. It's
somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah. I mean, it depends what Ethereum does, tomorrow. Yep. If we wake up like today and it dropped to 10% again, who knows?
Right.
Hopefully it doesn't.
Right. NFT platform. This is interesting. Will there be any NFT platforms?
There is actually. We are going to do something totally different with our NFT platform. So we're going to design what's called the Stealth Zone, which is going to be a 3D compatible, VR headset compatible room where you can look at your NFTs in 3D and spin them around and do whatever you want with them in there. So it's a little unique spin to the NFT marketplace that people have going on.
Interesting. Yeah, haven't heard that before, but that could be really interesting. Nice little spin on that. So what is your website? Obviously,
stealthtoken.io.
Love it.
And that's where you'll find the countdown to launch, assuming we launch on time. Mm-hmm.
Friend says, wow, really excited about it. And one person said this is interesting. Could you do a sweepstakes, one winner, 50 entries per launch every send, 0.1 Ethereum, and one winner gets the equivalent in tokens at launch for AMA participants?
We've already stated that we will give one more pre-spot away if our Telegram reaches, I can't remember if it was 1,000 or 2,500 today. We were hoping that it would be before the AMA, but I mean, if we could go, what time is it? 5:30. We could go till midnight. If we can reach 2,500 holders in our Telegram, we'll give another giveaway away.
Ooh, you heard of that? 252 people. You just heard that. And then he's trying to say his Telegram is non-exist, but Telegram is on their website. Is that right? I'm just making sure.
I can send you a link to the Telegram.
There was a name change. Okay. We changed the link slightly, and so there may be some old links out there. So
I'll just send it to you right now, Adam. The link.
Okay, sure. We'll do, and I'll post it there.
But if you go to stealthtoken.io, the correct link is on there. So.
I like this question. Are you thinking to go to metaverse space also? Any future plan related to this?
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Oh, sure. It says, are you thinking to go into the metaverse space? Any future plans related to this?
The direction the project is going right now, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it becomes part of our future. But that's not the way we set it up initially, but I'm not going to say no.
Right. What is one thing that Stealth will provide that's nothing seen in crypto market?
It's tokenomics, baby. Tokenomics.
I was stunned when I read those tokenomics, especially with those taxes. And listen, man,
I don't see anyone else out there offering, to help bail out other projects either, or have Ethereum set aside for, victims, that kind of thing. So we're actually, we're going to have a pool of Ethereum set aside that, that we can use in many different ways, whether that's, airdrops to victims, like I said, or liquidity pool, rescue, that kind of thing. So I think that's fairly unique. So.
I just sent you this Stealth token, the Telegram in the private chat. If you want to put it onto the main chat.
Sure, let me do that right now.
The Telegram in the private chat. If you want to put it onto the main chat.
All right. put it in there, guy. Let me see.
And
Got
no,
it.
it's not called Stealth Inu. Thank the Lord.
Thank
Whoever
you.
just wrote that.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Who put that in there? Is it
No,
called? No,
we're
it's not.
completely stepping away from the trend of this Inu stuff that's going on. We're past that.
Please. I appreciate that. Let me see if I can put it up. And all right, so we got it in there. Great job. Where do you guys bring into? Yep, that's new. We just answered that question there. To me, the tokenomics and then like they said, bailing out other Rug Pull Poly projects. I like that because there are some projects are thinking about doing it. You guys are doing it. That's the difference.
Yep.
That's the difference
We're
to me.
in communication about doing it. We haven't done it yet, but it's front
Right.
line as of right now.
Well, I meant
And
you
it's not
guys
going to
are
be
like on
bailing
track
out.
of doing
It's
it.
going to be more redesigning, and it's going to go right along with our hub. It's going to go right along with, once we step in and find out that it's a project that we can actually do something with, we'll put a new team from our hub onto that project, and we'll find ways to make it more secure. Maybe that would be providing a larger liquidity to it. I mean, there's multiple ways that we can help reintroduce a project and start to recover some of people's investments.
Yeah, sometimes that may mean that you even need a whole new contract, something like that. That's just kind of depends on the situation. And so we'll have to look at each project individually and determine what we can do.
Right. And then one of the last questions I see, it says, where can you buy? That will be on Uniswap. I'll be available there as well. All right. I seem like the questions has calmed down. We've been on 42 minutes. So we did say between 30 and 45 minutes. Any final words, Steve, first about Stealth and what's going forward with Stealth?
My final words would be, I'm tired. And one of the reasons why I'm starting, and we as a group are starting Stealth, is I'm tired of being in crypto and being really excited about it, and going and talking my friends and my family into trying to get people into crypto. And their first response is, well, is it safe? I mean, I hear it's really scammy. I hear yada, yada, ABC, all these different reasons why not to get in. And I'm just tired of it. Like we're in the middle of a financial, I don't want to say revolution, but a financial change in the world. And I want to make it a safe place. I want to make it a good experience for new investors. And so that's kind of the reason why I went this direction.
Yeah, and Lee, what in your final words as well? I love what you
Yeah,
said, Steve. I did.
Yeah, I just want to echo everything that Steve said. I mean, that says it all really. And so now we need to get hard up to work and bring this all to life for everyone. So I have a long night ahead of me. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I respect projects and what you guys are doing because, I think you're getting more and more people coming onto these platforms and they want something safe, secure. They want to be able to invest properly and not feeling like it's going to be something may happen bad to their investment. And the fact that not only you guys are doing this, but you're doing tokenomics. You basically, if you're a holder, if you want a project to start on the ground floor, this is something to really, really pay attention to. We have 245 people on, and tomorrow or whenever things gets launched, tomorrow, 12 Eastern, I believe, 12 p.m.
Yes,
correct.
12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is something you guys can look out for. They have a Telegram group. I just pinned it at the top. So go ahead and check that out and answer questions, introduce yourselves, and just get ready for this launch as well.
Absolutely.
And it's 1%.
We're excited
You
for
have
it.
15-person team, or are you working full time on it? Last question.
Yeah, there's a 15-person team. I'm full-time, Lee's full-time, a handful of us are full-time, and then we've got some people that are kind of slowly readjusting their lives so that they can become full-time. And then we've got some that are not quite full-time and not sure if they will be or won't be, but we'll know in the future.
All right, there we have it. 15-person team, full time. I have a feeling that all of them at some point will be full time as this go forward. And guys, check out the Telegram group, check out their website tomorrow. If you have any questions, you can always comment this video here on the Telegram. My name is Adam Shelton, and I'm looking forward for another AMA. Maybe in a week or so, we can do a recap of what happened. I would love to have that. If you guys would like to do it again, Steve, Lee.
Yeah, sign us up for sure. We're going to be doing regular AMAs. I mean, I'm going to be available to the public all the time. So, I mean, this is what I'm going to be doing. Stealth and answering questions. And I mean, I've got a ton of back end stuff to do, but I want to be here as much as possible for the community.
Thank you. And thank you, Melissa. And yes, I think that transparency is important when it comes to any type of project these days now. So, all right, guys, have a good night, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you guys in the chat. And we'll see you guys on the next video.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us, Adam. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.